Okay, no one freak out, but Thanksgiving is only a few weeks away. If you haven't even started thinking about your big Thanksgiving Day dinner, don't worry, you're not behind the 8 ball, I've got you. I have got some time-tested strategies to make sure that you can pull off your Thanksgiving party with panache and still have a great time at your own dinner. Stick around. Hi friends, I'm Erin, the founder and chief sommelier here at the Wine Sisters. Welcome to our YouTube channel. This is the place where every week we show you how to eat, drink, and entertain like a pro. And conveniently, all three of those things will be happening in just a matter of mere days. Yes, Thanksgiving is upon us, and this is the starting gun to the season where we are going to be eating, drinking, and entertaining for weeks. And I'm here for it. I love it. And I love it because after about 12 years of throwing parties on a professional level and maybe even more of throwing some kind of dinner party, 5 et 7 cocktail hour on a private level, well, I've learned a thing or two about throwing a stress-free party for easy and elegant entertaining. And I'm gonna share some of my best tips with you. And the number one tip, organization. I am known for making my handwritten lists, maybe even color coordinating them, to the point where some of my friends even make fun of me a little bit, but then those same friends come to my party and say, that was a ton of fun. Well, can't have your cake and eat it too. With proper organization, you will be a stress-free host, and that means everyone will have a good time. And this is how I do it. Now, being highly organized means that I break things down into 4 sections. Things that can be done 1 to 2 months out, things that can be done 1 to 2 weeks out, things that should be done 1 to 2 days out, and finally, all the last minute things that will be done the day of. And of course, by the time you get to the day of, most of it will already be taken care of, so you can just be enjoying your guests with everyone else, not crying in the kitchen, because the souffle has fallen. All right, so 1 to 2 months out. I know this sounds extreme, but these are little piddly things that you can just cross off your to-do list. I've already got mine. For example, we started sending out our invitations for our Thanksgiving Day dinner in August. These weren't formal affairs. It was literally sending somebody a text or an email or picking up the phone and getting a confirmation on who was there. This means we know already exactly how many people are coming and what their dietary needs are and all of the things that go with it. So boom, done. I'm not left scrambling saying, holy smokes, who's showing up at my house? 5 people or 15 people? I already know. That was taken care of in August. Similarly, another thing you can do 1 to 2 months out is get those items that you know are going to be highly in demand. So this is where I got things like extra brown sugar, canned pumpkin, canned cranberry sauce, the wild rice, all the things that people are going to be snapping up in a hurry. So I've already got these done and stored in my cupboard. So obviously they're gonna last for weeks, so that's no problem. And I'm not left at the last minute scurrying all over the city trying to find those elusive ingredients. What you might also wanna consider doing is grabbing your Thanksgiving Day wines. We talked about that in last week's video as well. Grab a case of the wines that you're gonna be serving, store them in the closet. Trust me, they will last, unless you have little willpower, but that's a story for another day. They will last, and you're not stuck at the local wine store that has the line snaking out down the street and around the corner so you can pick over the dregs. You've already got all of that away, and that's one more thing off your list. Finally, the last thing that you might be able to do is in your 1 to 2 months leading up to it is set the menu. Set the menu and then write it out in detail. And this is going to come in handy for a few reasons. 1, chances are good, I know what you're thinking, I make the same thing every year. I do, grandma's butter rolls and I do Aunt Edna's turkey. Fine, I don't care. Do the menu that you think works best for you, but still trust me, you write it out. This is going to come in handy in the next few weeks. But if you do want to test out a few new recipes, Thanksgiving is not the day to do it. I recommend that you start testing them out weeks in advance, and you have to do it at least twice. If you do a recipe only once and you say, oh, that worked out really well, there's a few variables that can kick in. The weather can change, the humidity can change, your patience can change. Do it at least twice so you know the ins and outs and the tips and tricks of pulling off that recipe really, really well. Now, when you're 1 to 2 weeks out, this is where your menu is going to come in handy. You've written out your menu in such detail that you have your shopping list ready to go, but you also have the dishes you're going to use for everything ready to go. So this is where at 1 to 2 weeks out, you start digging out those dishes from the back of the cupboard. You make sure they're in good repair. You make sure that they're clean and polished. And then whatever you're using for it, you stick a sticky note on it. And that means that you're not double booking Grandma's antique platter for both the green bean casserole and the mashed potatoes. You've already got that covered. Similarly, you want to go into your linen closet and you want to get out your napkins, your table linens, whatever you're going to be needing, and you're going to want to make sure they're washed and ironed, and then you're going to set them aside so you can just grab them at the last minute. You're not sent scurrying into the basement or into the attic trying to find where you left those things. And along those same lines, yes, friends, you get your wine glasses. Dig them out from the back of the cupboard, give them a good polish, make sure they're ready to go. We have a great video where you can watch on how to do these safely, effectively, quickly, and safely so nothing bursts in your hands. Take a look at that video and make sure that you get enough wine glasses polished and ready to go for the big day. These are all things that you can just scratch off your to-do list in the week or two leading up to it, a little bit here, a little bit there, which makes it a little bit more stress-free. And now we talk about your second round to the grocery store. 2 months ago, you might have picked up your canned pumpkin, but there might have been things that A, weren't available yet, or B, wouldn't have lasted a couple of months, but they will last a couple of weeks in the pantry. So these are going to be things like your butternut squash and your Brussels sprouts. These are also going to be things like extra paper towel and toilet paper. I mean, I know these are the unmentionables, but to be the host with the most, you've got to have it. I was once invited to a party, but then frantically, right as I was leaving the door, I got the call from the host who said, I didn't get enough toilet paper and I don't have any. Not awesome, but I was able to grab a few rolls from my bathroom and bring them to her and, crisis averted. So that's where you want to stock up on things like all of your sundry items, candles, lighters, toilet paper. Get all of that done a couple weeks in advance. And in those weeks leading up to it, not only have you done those groceries, but you're also going to make the things that can store in the freezer. These are things like your pies, the cookie dough that you just need to chop off and then bake, soups, anything that can be frozen and stored well for a couple of weeks. Get it done now, keep them in the freezer, and then you pull them out when the time is right to serve and prepare for dinner. Now we're in the home stretch. We've got 1 or 2 days to go till Thanksgiving, and this is where you really want to buckle down, get serious, and get as much off your plate so you can be as task-free and as stress-free as possible on the big day. So this is where we're going to start doing things like washing and chopping the vegetables, setting up the casseroles, preparing the stuffings. Anything that can be made in advance, you're doing it now. Similarly, your guest rooms, if you have overnight guests, this is where you're doing the dusting, you're resetting the bed, you're making sure that those are in good repair for your guests. You also might now want to consider clearing out your hallway coat closet, because it's better that your coats go somewhere else, anywhere else, rather than just dumping your friends and visitors' coats on the dining room chair or on the bed so they can have to rifle through them at the end of the night, keys and wallets and everything falling everywhere. You don't want to do that. And now, the day before, you're going to do things like set the table. Just get that off your list. Done. Set the table. You're also going to set up the bar. Done. Get that off your list. Again, as much as possible that can be done the day before, get it all out there. Finally, day of. You should be stress-free. You should have a turkey that just has to go in the oven. You should have a soup that just needs to be reheated. You should have a salad that just needs to have the dressing, which has already been made and stored separately, and pour it over top. You want to plan your day in such a way that you're working backwards so that if you've invited guests to come over for 4 o'clock, let's say, you're ready to roll, candles lit, music on, you've got a drink poured at 3 o'clock. Because when you are having fun, when you are stress-free, your guests are also having fun and are stress-free. So I know that seems like quite a bit. You can check the link in the show notes below. That has a blog with a checklist so that you can get it all done. And I hope you found that really helpful. Trust me, friends, after a decade or more of entertaining, these are my time-tested, time-honored, and absolutely indispensable tips for making sure that you have the best time at your party. Because when you're having fun, so are your guests. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. Please leave us a comment below. If you have a question, write that too, and I promise I'll get back to you. While you're there, you might want to give us a like, share this video with your friends and family, and consider subscribing so you can get alerted to a new video that comes every single week. All right, friends, happy Thanksgiving. I'm back next week with some more final Thanksgiving Day prep tips. We'll see you then.